Opposed? None. That's carried. Thank you.
Then I think in the rest of the report, the architect appointment to the Niagara-on-the-Lake Elementary School, the central computer system, voice over telecommunication systems, both as amended, and the CAW National Campaign as amended. Could we vote on those items?
Trustee Fulford.
Thank you. I just wanted to ask if it may be premature to appoint the architect for the school in Niagara-on-the-Lake based on the zoning issues that we're having.
Trustee Clark.
I think it's very important that we do appoint the architect for this. People in Niagara-on-the-Lake have waited a long, long time for their new elementary school. I don't want to be the party that holds that up. Certainly if town council wants to throw roadblocks in front of us, we may be held up, but I don't want our board to be the vehicle holding up that project. And it will be important if we do, in the end, have to go to the OMB, that we have a site plan, and the architect would certainly be involved in that. So I think it's important that we do this tonight to expedite the project once we do get approval, and to prepare the board should we have to go to the OMB.
Thank you, Trustee Clark. Trustee Pike.
On that same issue, my only question would be that, and certainly going ahead with the school, I understand, but since the site, there's a question and it's not resolved yet, my only question would be, is there a process where you appoint the architect, but some kind of provision that we are waiting on? Like, I don't know what steps they go through once they're appointed. When I look at one of the comments from Dr. Durant was that it's proved to be a good practice to select architects by the end of June so that plans are ready for tender early in the new year. So those plans, I'm just saying, if it's not the location, like if by some chance, they're appointed, there's going to be a new school. We're hopeful, and we hope it's going to be where the board's determined to put it, but is there some provision that you advise them? Because there is this bit of a roadblock right now.
Brenda, you carry on.
Well, along with appealing any general bylaw or specific bylaw issues that have been raised, one of the things that our consultant in planning has indicated to us is it's a good idea to submit some site plans, and that's what Trustee Clark has alluded to for the new site. So you really need the architect so you can do the site plan diagrams in the agreement. So.
And we did give that direction, along with the appeal, to carry on with the site plan. So I think it would be, having an architect would be beneficial and probably totally relevant in that. So is there any other comment before we call Trustee Fulford?
Sorry to hold you up. Just further to that, though, if something should happen and this project doesn't go forward, then we will be responsible for fairly hefty architectural fees. Is that correct?
I would have faith that our senior staff can so instruct the architect as we move down this road through the OMB that we're not going to ask for a full-blown plan until we're certain of where the school's going to be, although there's quite a bit the architect, for sure we're going to build a school. There's quite a bit the architect can do without doing a final design, but I think that we leave it to senior staff to so guide the architect that we're not spending money needlessly on a project that town council may, and I hope not, but may be able to block. So we'll see. But again, I think we can get assurances from the director that we won't be spending money that is unnecessary.
Director, you can.
Trustee Clark, as you know, when you appoint an architect, their services proceed right through the building of the school. Therefore, there's certain stages where we would require a certain amount of service, and then we would hold that until the next stage. And we will make sure that the interest of the board is at the forefront.
Thank you. Trustee Lindell.
Thank you, Chair Mapes. It kind of feels a little bit like putting the cart before the horse, because if we do the architectural drawings for the location that we are discussing right here tonight, and for some reason, whatever it may be, that we don't actually build the school, because I agree with Trustee Dahl-Clark, we are going to build the school, but if that school has to be built on a different location than the one that the architect has done drawings, now we're paying for preliminary architectural drawings a second time on a different location. So I'm a little hesitant about offering the architectural thing at this point. Thank you, Chairman.
Trustee Clark first, then Trustee Ness, and then Trustee Lindell.
Yeah, that's not the way it works. The architect, first of all, has to do a site plan. And at that point, and we need the site plan. We need the site plan because we've decided that we're, if necessary, going to the ONB. Now, we can then stop the architect at that point until we get a ruling from the ONB. And at that point, we can then either win at the ONB and tell the architect to go ahead, or have to look perhaps at a two-story school someplace else, or whatever. But you know, we don't have to go beyond site plan approval at this point. But in order to get that, we need to have an architect that will be committed, and this particular architect comes highly recommended for a school, for an elementary school, and he's done two just recently for us. So all we're asking tonight is that we appoint him, or appoint this architectural firm to do this project. And at this point, all we'll ask him to do is a site plan agreement for us, and hold off until he gets further instructions from the board.
Thank you, Trustee Clark. Trustee Ness.
To me, what Trustee Clark has said is quite clear and straightforward, and I agree with it. If we did go a step further, we have history where we've used very similar school plan to build in a different community. The history of Power Glen schools. So, but just from what Dalton has said earlier, it's the site plan we're looking for right now.
Thank you, Trustee Ness. Trustee Lynn Campbell.
I agree with Dalton Clark. Hold your applause. But, you know, we have to do everything we can as a board, I think, to help our new elementary school proceed for the sake of the students who are waiting for the wonderful new facility. So I hope everybody endorses the appointment of the architect. And if the building design is the same, it could go on any piece of property. Where we would differ would be with the site plans.
Thank you. Then are there any more comments before I call the question? So we're voting on all the recommendations for the architects as an entity. The architect appointment for the Niagara Lake School. Or no, we already did the batch one, so it said the elementary school in Niagara Lake. That's it? Okay. All those in favor? Opposed? 2, that's carried. Thank you. Now back to you, Trustee Clark.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Now, perhaps, I think we've dealt with everything in the that came up at the meeting, with the exception of the 2009-10 budget. And as you know, we've been building this budget as